So I was doing some thinking. No one else is talking about this on social media regarding this show From on MGM. No one is considering that Tabitha might be in on it. Now, we don't know what that means. Is it aliens? Is it the government, that's controlling From? Like, is this like an experiment? We don't know. But I'm really starting to think that Tabitha might be in on it. Now, you might say, why? Okay. Tabitha, if you remember the beginning, was the most biggest critic of From. Her husband, Jim, was actually being very optimistic, right? Trying to figure out a way. Remember, they put the satellite on the colony house and they figured there was a way that they could communicate and all that stuff. Okay. Jim was very optimistic, her husband. But Tabitha thought that he was a nut. Like, she kept saying to him, this is crazy, this is nuts. Suddenly now, Tabitha is like not only the only person, I want you to think about this, that was able to leave From. Now, let's talk about that for a few minutes, okay? How do we really know that Tabitha left From? Did anyone see her leave From? I want you to think about this for a second because nobody ever questions this shit. No one witnessed Tabitha leave From. They're basing it just on her word. It's all friggin' hearsay. It's her word. I left From. I was in the real world. Oh my God. And there's another thing. Isn't it so convenient that she didn't tell anybody? Isn't it so convenient, right? That there was no record left. Listen, if you were trapped, I think any one of us, if we were trapped in a place where there are monsters that come out at night to try to friggin' kill us and there's no way out, I think if we managed to get out, that we would tell every mother effer that we saw, our family, our friends, our ex-girlfriends, everybody. We would tell our worst enemies, help! I need help. Right? Isn't it convenient she didn't tell anybody? I think so. Okay? I think she's in on it. Now suddenly she's having these dreams. She's having these dreams that she was there as a little girl. Get the F out of here with this shit. She's reincarnated as what's Victor's mother's name again? Was it Miranda? Yeah, I think it was Miranda. Okay. So I don't believe it. Something is rotten in Denmark. Okay. Now you might say, well, how do you explain the ambulance? How do you explain Victor's father, right? Is it possible that they're in on it too? Oh, is it possible that's not really Victor's father? Remember in the beginning, Victor never drew his father. Don't you find that to be weird? Victor always drew what he remembered. He remembered his sister. He remembered his mother. He remembered everything. All the people who died. He remembered that dummy. What's that dummy's called again? Jasper. He remembers everything, Victor. Victor doesn't draw the father. Think about that for a second. What are the chances that Victor drew every single thing that was important in his life and wanted to remember that he would not draw his father? Why is no one questioning this, right? Now, I don't think Victor is a part of it, but his father certainly might be a part of it, right? Now, isn't it so convenient that his father met, Tabitha, and then suddenly they both came back into From? You see, in other words, Victor's father and Tabitha were in this supposedly new world, right? The real world, the real world. And then they came in, and then you might say, what about the people on the ambulance? Okay, so let's talk about that. 2 of them died from the monster, right? Which could be a setup. And then this girl, there's a lot of problems with this girl who's the cop. First of all, she is challenging, Boyd like a mother effer. She is freaking out. She shot someone, right? Supposedly again, right? Okay, so, but think about this for a second. Do you ever think maybe this was all like all part of a big elaborate plan, a setup? Like it's all a setup. Okay, think about it. To make you believe Tabitha really left From. How do you know she left? How do you know who confirmed it? Who saw it? How do you know that that's really Victor's father? We don't know. Victor never drew his father before. How do we know that this was all a part of a big plan to get into From and to make people panic and freak out and all this stuff? We don't know anything, right? So maybe the cop, the girl, Victor's father, The two guys that died, well, they're out of the picture. So let's just stick with the three people. Tabitha, the cop, and Victor's father are all part of this From program, whether it be a government experiment, whatever it is, aliens. I think it's probably most likely a government experiment. She's the only one who left. How do we know she left, right? Tell me what you think of this theory. I think that Tabitha, now you might say, well, how could it be? Do you think Jim, her husband? No. Well, they were going through a divorce too. You forget all of that. Oh, did it, right? Maybe she wanted to have the husband perish. Now you might say, what about the kids? Well, maybe she'll work out a deal to get the kids out. We don't know yet. But, they're always fighting. They just had that major big fight. You notice how there's a lot of animosity between Jim and Tabitha? Like, they don't really like each other. They're going head to head. Even the kid, what's his name? Eaton, right? Right, Jen?
Yeah.
He was like, I heard you arguing and fighting with mom and all this stuff. They're fighting like cats and dogs. Meow! Right? They're fighting, man. So is it possible that Tabitha is in on all this? I think so. And I also think maybe Victor's father's in on it. Here's another thing. Why is Victor's father automatically assuming he's seeing all the weird shit that's going on? He witnessed the monsters. He witnessed a lot of weird shit, but he keeps trying to convince his son Victor that the dummy, what's it, Jasper, that dummy Jasper is not real. He keeps trying to desperately convince the son. He's like, it's just a dummy. It's just a toy. Victor, it's just a toy. It doesn't speak. But he's witnessing all this crazy shit going on. So don't you think he should be a little open-minded? That's another thing, right? Doesn't it piss you off that no one is open-minded? Like even Boyd, even Ellis, right? Like with Fatima, like that the machine, the ultrasound shows that she has no baby, right? That she's not really pregnant. Mother effers, with all the strange shit that goes on there. Monsters in the middle of the night coming out, killing you. Friggin' trees that are wormholes and all this shit, transporting you all over the place. Friggin' worms in Boyd's body that kill the monsters. It's the only thing that kills the monsters are the worms. All this shit that's going on. They're not taking into account that maybe that ultrasound was also a part of the setup. Because think about it. In theory, that ultrasound came in the same ambulance. Check this out. That ultrasound came in the same ambulance that transported Tabitha, Victor's supposedly father, and that crazy girl cop who wanted the gun back from Boyd, right? He gave her back the gun with no bullets. That might have been a major mistake, by the way, because if she isn't in on it, she might know where bullets are. You see what I'm saying? That was very stupid. I just wanted to say that Boyd gave her back her gun. Very stupid. Very stupid, because if she's in on it, she could get bullets somewhere. She could get bullets, okay? So, very stupid. That's all I have to say about that one. So, anyway, theoretically, if the girl is in on it, Tabitha is in on it, and Victor's supposedly father are in on it, right? Then the ambulance that carried that ultrasound would be in on it. So maybe the ultrasound is defective, okay? Or someone messed with it. You see what I'm trying to say? Or again, it could be some voodoo crazy shit going on in the town where she is pregnant, but is not showing up. But the point is that isn't it all like a big coincidence? Isn't it all a big coincidence that all the problems that we're seeing right now are coming from all the people who came into From most recently, which is the ambulance, the girl cop, Victor's supposedly father, right? And now Tabitha, who is the only person who left From and then came back into From on the ambulance. That's where all the chaos is. So I think they're all in on it. What do you think? Viva Victory videos, not financial or movie advice. I'm not a financial planner. I am not a movie expert. I'm a movie lover. That's what I am. I'm a part-time movie lover, but I am the greatest entertainer who's ever lived on planet Earth and the entire universe. They call me the one. They call me the only. Apefather in the house. Baby. Wow! Oh!